Dear brothers and sisters, I am supposed to speak on the subject of management of life. I don't propose to speak technically because that is no use, because life is ever flowing. It is a living stream. It has no beginning, it has no end. Nevertheless, when we consider the subject of management, we have the idea that there are two aspects, planning and execution. This, to my mind, because I have been in management for about 30 years in my life, in my what we call Purvashram days, you say, before I started the spiritual. I was a manager of sorts at various levels, and it was always drilled into me planning, execution, planning, execution. Now when we talk of managing life here in the spiritual arena, we can also think of planning and execution. In Sahaj Marg, there is the system about which you have heard in 3 different languages. I hope at least one of them was understood. We also have to manage our resources, plan how to use them, and we must have a goal in mind, because planning and execution without a goal is not really planning and execution. That's like children playing. Children can play with gudiyas. This is father, this is mother, here is a rickshaw that is pulling it through Park Street, etc. It is imagination, fantasy. But when we have a goal, when that same child marries and has a husband and children, it can no longer think of a rickshaw pulling through Park Street. It has to think of how to do it. What resources do I need? In the spiritual life, the goal should be and is realization. All our scriptures talk of realization as the ultimate goal, Mukti or liberation as the first step. Mukti is nothing, according to my master, who you see here, that one, Chandraji Maharaj of Shahjahanpur. He used to say Mukti is child's play. I have my own experience in life that when we talk of Mukti, we are trying to escape from situations. When we are in the office, we want Mukti. We want to see it's 5 o'clock and go home. When we are in a train, we want to get out. First we are in a rush to get in, then we are waiting to get out. Same thing in a plane, same thing in anything. You get into a boat to cross the Hooghly, you are waiting to get out on the other side. So all the time we are getting in and out, getting in and out, getting in and out, crossing railways, crossing bridges, crossing rivers. And our whole existence is a journey through life. We have got in at birth, we have to get out at death. Now, how we are going to get out is what spirituality is about. We are all going to get out. God has seen to it that there is no difference to whatever culture you may belong, whatever language you may speak, whatever religion you may profess. I deliberately say profess rather than practice, because few people practice religion. They profess religion. I am a Hindu. There are few practicing Hindus. Like there are few practicing Christians, there are few practicing any religions. But we are proud that I belong to Hinduism. I belong to Christianity. I am a Catholic. Things like that. So between practicing and professing, there's a huge difference. So to get back to the subject of death, you see, you have seen people coming out of a train to Havana, for instance, from Bandel, and they rush out pell-mell, and somebody falls, somebody is trodden upon, goes to hospital, somebody's briefcase is stolen. Similarly, when we die, how are we getting out of that vehicle which we have called life here on earth? Am I going to be happier out of the train? Or am I going to stand like a bewildered man from a cave who doesn't know where he is, why he is there, what he is going to do there? And he stands in bewilderment. What am I here? Where am I? Why am I here? Because if you have not taken the pains to create an environment which will be familiar to you after death, we are going to be bewildered. And like a dog which is locked out of the house because it is troublesome, you know that dog runs round and round the house, yelping, barking, scratching at doors. We too will be yelping, barking and running round and round, trying to get back into this life with which we are familiar. No Mukti. So Mukti is not a route for escape from the troubles of life, from the disappointments of life, from the frustrations of life. Mukti has to be planned so carefully that after you are liberated, you don't want to come back and say that life was better. Rebirth, perhaps what you call Punarjanma, you see, is perhaps nothing more than my own desire to get back into a familiar circumstance because I do not know where I am, what I am and why I am there. This preparation to die in a useful, evolutionary, ongoing manner is spirituality. People ask what is spirituality. Of course, there are so many definitions, you see. But according to the teachings of my master, every time we meditate, we die a little. We go deeper and deeper into the self. We forget our existence. I don't know where I am, what I am. Suddenly I wake up, and I find I'm back in this world. And there is a cry in my heart, why am I back here? Now as we progressively go on in meditation, this deepening of our experience during meditation becomes more and more profound, see. And that is why we have the Sanskrit term Mahasamadhi, you see. Because at a particular stage, you can go into such a deep samadhi that you will never return. So when saints die, we say they took Mahasamadhi. Unhone Mahasamadhi प्राप्त कर लिया. In between, we have various stages of samadhi. Nirvikalpa samadhi, Savikalpa samadhi, where we enter samadhi and come back. So in another sense, if you look at it, spirituality is a journey where you progressively go and come out of that region beyond life, which you call the other life, until you learn by experience that I must stay there and not come back here, then that is Mukti. Till then it is not, till then it is escape. Like children going out of the kitchen and coming back frightened back to the mother, you see. Mummy, mummy. Arey bhai, main to yahi hu. But the child is afraid. So spirituality looked at in another way is to overcome our fear of death, knowing that death is the only way by which we can enter into the life hereafter, which is eternal. Otherwise, I am back here in this temporal life, which is impermanent. Anitya, it says in Sanskrit. So you see, spirituality is a training ground. It is not achievement oriented. Nobody becomes a saint in spirituality. One achieves saintliness. Saintliness meaning, according to my master, he did not like the word sainthood because he said it reminded him of the hood of a snake. He did not like that word. He said saintliness. And what is saintliness is the perfect balance of all our faculties. So here you see we have a different conception of faculties. Common education, material education teaches us to exaggerate our prowess, our achievements, our capacities in one direction to the neglect of the other faculties. I am an engineer, I am not a doctor, I am not a chemist. Sometimes I am not even a human being. We exaggerate what that is. So there is no balance. Where there is no balance, there can be disaster. Saint Leaders says, don't worry about how much power you have in each field, in each faculty. The more you have in one field and the less it becomes in the other fields, there is definitely a problem. But if all the fields are balanced, that is Saint Leaders. But we are used to achieving more and more power. Even in our religious tradition, please distinguish carefully between spiritual and religious tradition. Our religious tradition is full of tapasvis who meditated for power. Parashtra and Shastra who destroyed themselves. Even the lords, it is said, made this mistake. Shiva Bhagavan and Bhasmasura. You know the story too well, I don't need to repeat it. And then poor Shiva has to run for his life when Bhasmasura wants to test Dvara on Shiva's head itself. And Vishnu comes. But what does he do? He cannot do anything directly, you see. So he takes on a female form, Mohini, and tempts this fellow into his destruction. Even the gods have to do these funny things. Why? Because they are not gods. Excuse me for saying it, because there are many devoutly religious people who may be shocked. But I am bound to speak what my master taught me, which is the truth. Satyam vada, says our ancient Sanskrit. But we are going around telling lies. My master said, if you have ever known Vishnu is a god, see it. But you don't know even where is Vishnu, who is Vishnu, what is Vishnu. How dare you speak of Vishnu? Namaskara of Shaivite. What do you know about Shiva? You are picturing him with his Trishul, killing Narakasura, whoever it is. Have you seen it? Or is it just a putri made for your festivals? Have you seen? If you have seen, you have the right to speak. Satyam Vada means speak what you have seen, what you have experienced. Otherwise, it is a lie. Because in your knowledge, it is not true. There is no such thing as an absolute lie or an absolute truth. When I don't know, I am ignorant. My master once recited a very humorous episode in his life when a collector or when an IAS officer came to meet him. And Chandraji Maharaj, as we used to affectionately address my Guruji Maharaj, he was talking about ignorance. And the very big officer from the government of India said, Sahab, my state is one of ignorance. How is yours any better? Because you are only speaking of ignorance. Chandraji Maharaj laughed and said, my friend, your state is of ignorance, mine is of absolute ignorance. Now when you come to think of what can be absolute ignorance, it is to know, or even better, it is not to know that I do not know. When I know that I do not know, it is also a state of knowledge. I know that I don't know. I am ignorant. When I do not know that I do not know, what is it? I should think it is a state pertaining or almost touching the state of the ultimate God, who has no name, who has no form, who has no attributes, who is not Shiva, who is not Vishnu, who is not Brahma, who is not Kali, who is nothing that you can name or formalize. That is why it is said in the Veda, Neti, Neti, Neti. Is Shiva God? Neti. Is Vishnu? Neti. Brahmadev? Neti. So who is he? He is here, find out, says spirituality. Yes, but I am so big and how can my God be small here? Raises the question. I am tall 6 feet, 200 pounds. And my God is in my heart is only this big in my sharir. And inside that is God. What to say? But that is why the Veda says, Anoraniya Mahato Mihiya. smaller than the smallest, even smaller than the atom, and bigger than the biggest, even bigger than the universe. Bigger than the universe, my imagination cannot touch. You know, if you talk of money, and you tell me 100 rupees, I can understand. 1,000 rupees, I can understand. Million rupees is only a figure. And when you say somebody has 10 to the power of 18 rupees, it makes no sense to me. It is beyond my grasp. And if you say 10 to the power of 80, if I have the sense, I should change, go to Samadhi and go off into Mahasamadhi. But God in my heart is something I can accept. Because when my heart is beating, I can hear it. The doctors can hear it. I feel it. Put your hand here and you can feel it. So spirituality turns your attention from outside to the inside. If you have your attention outside, you can be confused. How many gods there are? Which to worship? Kasmai Devaya Havisha Devaya. Which God should I worship? There's such a huge variety of them. It is like a child going to the market and saying, which should I buy? Take a child to a toy shop. It will be bewildered. A sensible parent will buy a toy and take it home and give it. So which God to worship? That is the problem. But when I turn my attention inside and say, oh, you who are within me, who must be really strong to be inside myself. I am a small fellow, but you are inside me, you must be smaller. Veda says you are the smaller than the smallest. Reveal yourself to me. So we can never know God. We cannot put him in a geographical context or in a temporal context that he is in Kolkata in the year 2000 AD. We can only say of God, he is where? Nobody knows. He is everywhere and nowhere. What do you mean nowhere? Well, have you seen him everywhere? No. Have you seen him anywhere? No. Learn first where to look. So spirituality says, don't go here and there. Don't be bhaktao. This temple is more powerful than that. Go to Dakshineshwar, where Ramakrishna Paramahamsa meditated. I meditated in Dakshineshwar. I didn't feel anything. Actually, in my life during Kolkata, when I was as a student of the Xavier's, I have meditated in Dakshineshwar. But I am not a Ramakrishna to feel what he felt. I have meditated in Bengal, but I have no training in how to meditate. So you see, it is wrong to say I meditated because I did not know what meditation was and is. I just sat, closed my eyes, and like a child I imagined, that the God of Ramakrishna and Bhagavatam will come before me and say, Partha Sarthi, ki chai. Nothing happened because I have to be trained to meditate. You see, I was talking of planning and execution. Planning needs the intellect, the brain, the thought process. Executing needs willpower. It is the same with spirituality. My plan is sit quietly in a place, comfortable, on an asana. Close your eyes. Compose yourself so that you can meditate for the duration that your Guruji prescribes, 1 hour minimum in this case. Then meditate. All this requires the use of your willpower. People say, oh, but he is only sitting with his eyes closed. What willpower is it necessary? I would recommend that you try to sit 1 hour without moving, in one posture, on an asana, in a dark room at 4 o'clock in the morning, and the mind only thinks of ghosts, evil spirits, or how much money I have in the bank, is it still safe? Some people think of perhaps an income tax raid. It's not so easy. I used to wonder why when Ramakrishna Paramahamsa was meditating in that garden near the temple, it is written that he found that his hands and feet were tied up sort of, he could not move them afterwards, and he claimed that the mother did it. Perhaps the mother in her wisdom, in her love, did it because otherwise he would not have been able to sit. So you see, the willpower is very necessary. I think meditation is most necessary of all. What we need for spirituality, what spirituality produced in the shape of giants that India has been proud of throughout the ages, you see. Rishis, nameless numbers of them. Many good names like Vishwamitra, Vasishta, Vyasa, and many modern ones like Vivekananda. They exemplify the use of their willpower to the maximization of their inner human qualities. Now you see, human life consists of two wings, the material and the spiritual. If you are capable of proper planning, you must be able to do both. As long as I am in the body, I need food, I need drink, I need shelter. Three basic requirements. After the passing away of Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, his disciples were living in one room. They shared one dhoti among themselves. And it is said in the Charitra, you see, that one of them put on the dhoti and went out to buy whatever was necessary after Uchivritti, begging. So somebody had to do it. So you see, they were great saints, but they had to beg for food. They had one dhoti, the others remained in their kaupina inside the room. This man went out, begged, got what was available, and they shared it. So the material life had to be attended. How much attention does it need? Is planning. No, we are doing everything for material life. All our attention is on our material life. A clerk wants to become a senior clerk. Then I don't know what else, up the ladder. Most of us have never wanted to be prime ministers. But there are people who also want to be prime ministers. You find them in the cabinet. The cabinet is full of aspiring prime ministers. That is why they are not doing their work. Their attention is how to become the prime minister, the next prime minister, because there is already one. Though all the scheming, all the machinations, all the corruption is because of this greed for the higher post. Therefore, they cannot work because their mind, like Ravana's mind, how to have Sita, Ravana was thinking. These people are always thinking how to be chief minister here or prime minister there. Where is life? Are they living? Spirituality says no. They are in their own imaginative, greed-ridden, avaricious fantasy of being something which they are not today. You see, you must very carefully think over this idea that they are always thinking of something they are not, ignoring what they are, ignoring the potentiality of the present moment. Therefore, losing every opportunity that comes second after second in their ambition, avarice, greed and need to become something else. Therefore, their lives are failures. When they lose the next election, they don't know what to do. We know what to do when what happens is going to happen, including the moment when we shall die. Spiritual people know what they are doing. In fact, they are waiting for it to happen. It is said, that when saints die, they tell their Sishyas, their disciples, the moment for my meeting my beloved has come. It is not that Yamadev riding on a black buffalo. It is the beloved. Because he who liberates me must be my beloved. Who will liberate me from the stupid life here that we are leading? Only somebody who loves me will liberate me. Who will let you out of the jail? Will somebody come and release you? If somebody comes and releases you, he must be beloved. He must be one who loves you and says, come, there is enough of this imprisonment. What are you doing here? 25 years, 50 years, 75 years, still in jail? Come out. That is the Guru. Spiritual tradition says that when we die, when a spiritual aspirant, an abhyasi, a sadhak, when he dies, no death comes to him. It is his Guru who comes and says, come my son, it is time for us to move on. So when we have experienced this throughout our meditation, sitting after sitting, session after session. How can there be fear? There is only longing, you see. Lord, how long do you want me to further remain here? Is the cry of the spiritual aspirant. The cry of the materialist is, Lord, let me live some years more. I have to marry off my daughter, I have to make my 20 crores into 200 crores. My 60-year-old son has to become 21 because I promised him a BMW car for his 21st birthday, ityadi, ityadi. He is wanting more and more what he thinks life, but it is not life. It is imprisonment. So you see, planning means having a goal. Is my goal to be a crorepati with a 7-bedroom house in which there are 14 bathrooms, all marble? Or is my goal to be free of all this? Because we know that as we go on acquiring property, there are problems. Car suddenly stops. Problem. I paid 26 lakhs, it's a Mercedes. But my son says, yes, daddy, but it is made in India. Problem. So Indian made Mercedes is different from Germany made Mercedes. Indian wife is different from foreign wife. Indian food is different from foreign food. So when, hamburgers, cheeseburgers, these are available, they are better than paratha and kakra and I don't know, samosas, singara. So you see, our mind is like a butterfly hovering over the innumerable choices with which we are faced in today's life. I am in government service. My friend is a businessman. He is a crorepati. I am not even a lakhpati. Should I leave and go for business? And some fool advises him, yes, indeed, yeah, what is government? He is in business for 2 years. He has lost everything that he got from his previous job. And he is on the streets. What should I do? Well, what can you do with nothing in your hands? You have no proper goal. Your goal was avaricious. You have a goal which you did not know how to achieve, how to plan for. And unfortunately, that goal, had you achieved, would have dragged you further into the jungle, because now you would want to become an exporter, and then an importer, then a forger of documents, then a cheater of income tax. Because having made money, how to retain it? Not give the proper share to the government. That's also a faculty, you see. So an improper goal, we should understand at the very beginning. If I set out, our old tradition where we have superstition, it says when you set out of the house, if you stumble and fall, go back and say. Often it is the best advice. Of course, if you want to be very rational and intellectual and say, oh, this is superstition, he will find out at some time that superstition often is reality. And what we consider reality, that a rich man is happy, that a professor is very intelligent, that a policeman is honest and interested in governing and law and order, they are all myths. There is no truth behind them. If you want to know what a rich man feels, go to a rich man and ask him, are you happy? No, only fool asks such questions. Who is happy in this world? Rickshaw puller, is he happy? Why do you ask me this question? Go and ask him. So you see, I have not heard a rich man saying he's happy. I have not heard a rickshaw saying he's happy. I have not heard a wife saying she's happy. I have not heard prime ministers say they are happy. Then who is happy? My master said, he who is happy under all circumstances is happy. It is raining, you are happy. Suddenly it goes and sun comes, you are happy. You get a promotion, you are happy. No promotion this year, I am happy. My happiness must not depend on anything outside myself. If my happiness depends on anything outside myself, like my car, like my position, like my money, one moment I am happy, next moment I crash like a plane. No happiness, no peace of mind, no future. Spirituality says only through meditation, through a regulation of the mind, can you achieve a state where the mind is eternally happy. We call it bliss, we don't call it happy. Anandam, King Shuk said, you see. The Upanishad says, Anandam Brahmeti Vijanat. If you want to know Brahman, you say, no, Anand is Brahma. That is Ananda, see. Not the Ananda of the Rasgulla, the Singala. But the ananda of having or not having doesn't make a difference. Being or not being doesn't make a difference. Nothing makes a difference. Cold or heat. All these stories about saints who meditate in the Himalayas, in their Kaupinam, they must be true, you see, because at that stage, when you are so much internally absorbed, how can you feel heat or cold? Can God feel heat and cold? Please think over what the true God, the ultimate God, not Brahma and Vishnu and Shiva, they feel, they have knowledge. The tapasya comes to them and they say, what shall I do? He is praying, I have to go to him. And they are helpless because what we pray for, these, well, I hesitate to say stupid gods, they have to give. They don't say, Tapasvi, why are you asking me for this? This is going to be a destruction. They say, no, I am bound to give what he asks for. Is it intelligent? So God cannot be intelligent. Even Vishnu Brahma cannot be intelligent. With the ultimate God, the question doesn't arise at all. He has no mind, says Sahaj Marg. Because if he has a mind, he would be conscious of the dualities, the dvandvas, of creation, of existence, of destruction. He will know that he is God and there is something that is not God, that is not possible. He would ask himself, where am I? And he would not know. He would ask himself, why am I? He would not know. He would be confused. So in that state of the ultimate divinity, which we call the Paratattva, the who, the where, the what, the why don't exist. There is no reason for God's existence. You cannot locate him anywhere in space and time. Therefore, he can be everywhere. If he is in one space at one time, he cannot be in another place at the same time. He is subject to the limitations of time and space. And when we are growing all our lives that God is great, he is Sarvajnana, he knows everything, he is Sarvasva, he is everywhere. Is it the truth? It cannot be. So you see, spirituality must awaken our eyes to the reality of what divinity is. And my master said, as God cannot know himself because he has no mind, to know your true self, you must also regulate your mind and reduce its functioning to such a low level, the lowest level, that you too do not know what you are, where you are, why you are, how you are, what you are. So when you wake up a man who has been in deep meditation, let us say, and gone to utter samadhi, as it happens quite often, for a moment you can be bewildered and confused. Because you don't know what you are. You are like a child waking up and screaming, and see, the child screams because it doesn't know where it is. It's afraid. We don't scream because we are adults. And also we are ashamed of showing our fear. Because to come back out of that utterly deep samadhi state into this existence is frightening. It is not death which frightens. It is return from that state into this life which frightens. No wonder a baby has to cry when it is born. You know, they test a baby, they hold it upside down and smack its bottom, and it lets out a wail. And everybody is happy. Talina, bajao, prasad bhatta. So you see, to go into that door and come back. It is like, a timid man who doesn't know how to swim, puts his toes into the water, it's cold, he withdraws. Then he puts it up to his ankle, then he puts it up to his knee, progressively, little by little, until he gets the courage and gets in and sees the water is only up to here. And he was afraid, for no reason. So, to know what the water is like, you have to get into it. There's the story of a man who stumbled and held on to a root in the dark. And all night he was hanging. In the morning when the sun rose, he found that his toe was half an inch from the floor. Had he let go, he would have been all right. This letting go is called surrender. Of course, modern education, technical education, education which orients us towards achievement and ambition fulfillment. They tell you must not surrender, you must not give up, hold on to it, be dogged in spirit, you see. That means be like a dog. A dog with a bone which you cannot pry out of its mouth. That is the attitude which is called dogged. No, do we want to be dogs? I hope not. Worldly life is one about wanting, how to take more and more. Spirituality is learning how to give everything, including ultimately your life. Because my life is not my life. If somebody is able to go through the process of spirituality to the ultimate goal, he will find what the truth is spoken of in the Veda. You are me and I am you, and there is no difference between us. You are a God who never knew himself. I am an Atman, a part of you, an Amsha of you who never knew myself. I thought I was this, I thought of that. I was thinking about the Janmas I have lived, like Krishna Bhagavan says in the Gita. And yet, all this was a fantasy, because in reality, I was never. I thought I was, therefore I was. I think I am happy, therefore I am happy. I think I am sad, therefore I am sad. Therefore, in Hamlet, Shakespeare says, nothing is good or bad, but thinking makes it so. Spirituality deals with this thought process. It says, bring your thought into one ekagrata, as we say in Sanskrit. One point at this. Fix it on your goal. It cannot wander. No, that is the reality for me. What that is, I am. I don't have to achieve. All the talk of growing and becoming a saint is nonsense. This can be done in 1 minute, 1 second, if your meditation is done properly. I sit, I close my eyes, and I'm gone. So I pray that all of you may come into this adventure. So spirituality is nothing but an adventure. It is not a burden. It is not a daily discipline. It is not a regimen. It is an adventure into what? I hope my master will be able to give you that answer when you all meditate, and may he bless you. Thank you.